Let's talk AI in 2026. It is a very interesting world, and let's get into it. Welcome back to the Nonprofit Missionary Podcast. This is Ken McQuiller. I've been grant writer now for 8 years and have this nonprofit consulting business where I help faith-based nonprofits to reach their full potential in reaching the kingdom of God by helping them with their grant writing and their funding needs. Jumpstart grant writing package, as well as just general grant writing. So if that's something that interests you, if that's something that you need, hit us up, nonprofitmissionary.com, or you can send me an email at nonprofitmissionary@gmail.com, or send a DM on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all at Nonprofit Missionary, one word. So let's talk about some AI stuff. AI continues to evolve and change. I did an episode back in, I think, October about AI. I think I did 2, actually. But even in the several months, I feel like there's been a lot of things that have changed. Also, for me personally, I have been tinkering with some AI tools to help my work flow a little bit better. So I wanted to talk about it and give what can you do as a nonprofit when it comes to AI in the year 2026? I know that there are some people that are very skeptical about it. There are some people that refuse to use it for certain tasks or anything. And I get that. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. I think what works best is what works best for you. But if it's something that you want to explore a little bit more, you want to learn about a little more, hit us up. Another package that I've started offering is an AI grant writing tool. I will create you a custom GPT, which is like your own personal ChatGPT that has everything that your organization needs in order to write grants effectively. So I design it by getting information about your organization, and through that, I create a grant writing tool that will write it for you and not make anything up and keep you on the straight and narrow. And as you're writing your grants, you can use this as an opportunity to take more time to refine the grant and continue to build up your skills. If that's something you're interested in, hit me up. We can have a chat about it. AI continues to change. I don't know if you've seen the videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti, which for whatever reason is like the benchmark for how AI has evolved. You can just Google it. If I can figure out how to stitch it in here, I will. But if you look at 2023, it looks really janky and crazy. And 2025, 2026, it looks almost realistic. So it is an interesting topic, and it's something I think that at least nonprofits need to be aware of. If you don't implement it, like I said, I think it's fine. I have read books that talked about how if you do not implement it, you will be several years behind. And I think to some extent, that can be very true. I think if you're completely resistant to the technology, it can put you in a different spot, but also different may not necessarily be bad. Generating emails is still my experience. It hasn't saved that much time. Maybe that's because I don't really write a ton of emails, but I will say using AI has helped me in a lot of different ways. Whether you're talking reworking documents to make them look nicer. I recently put together a survey and I used ChatGPT to make it a little bit more visually pleasing than just here's the data. And it worked pretty well. It took me a few different edits and adjustments to do it, but it did work pretty well. Like writing blog posts using whether it's this platform here or whatever, I think that's been helpful. Using AI for short form videos, especially for the church, it's saved me a lot of time. But here's what I'll say on this, based on my experience in building different AI tools. It can help you, it can really help you, but also hinder you, because you'll keep planning and trying to strategize and make the perfect thing when you just gonna have to do it. Sometimes as you're creating AI systems and tools, in my experience, I've gotten very into tinkering them and making sure that they work 100%, as opposed to just throwing them out there and then adjusting as things are going. If you're looking at creating AI systems for, say, replying back to donors, which I have a software worked on, it's called Stewardship OS. It works pretty well. Having as a tool, there were times where it just didn't work. And there are times where it worked, but not in the way that I was hoping it would work. And I think it's important to don't get stuck in the planning stage. If you're gonna try to implement an AI tool, try it out and know it's gonna fail. Know that there's going to be things that don't work, things that you kind of have to adjust. But I will say, once you get it working and once you actually kind of figure it out and see it in action and see where it's going wrong, you can, for the most part, figure out how to mitigate some of those things. I'll give another example here. I have an AI tool that helps me with a little bit of automation as far as social media, where I have it generate a caption based on what the video is about, upload the video, and then automatically goes to a planning thing. So with all that, it took a minute because there was a couple times where I kept getting errors and I couldn't figure out why. But I think sometimes we can get very stuck in the planning and it's, I want this to go that way. And I think also for me, that's been one of the bigger things why I haven't fully launched a lot of my AI offerings for nonprofits, has been the hesitancy because I don't have it perfect. It's not going to be perfect right away. And also AI changes pretty regularly. So something that might not be available before might be available now. There might be a way around it. Just as a side note, if you're looking at using multiple tools to help build an AI, there might be an AI tool within that can help you do it better than simply just asking ChatGPT. Because that's something I use Airtable with a lot of my AI automations and stuff. It's one of my main connectors. It also has an AI tool within it. And when I ask that AI tool, then it'll give me something that actually works versus just asking ChatGPT. It's kind of asking someone that works in an organization versus someone that knows about an organization. The person that works there probably gives you a little bit more insight. So if you're looking at starting AI tools, start with the planning, but you have to get off the planning quickly. Have the idea. Suggest the idea to ChatGPT. Be very specific in it. Don't just say, I want to do this. How do I do it? Explain why you want to do it, how you want it to look, and it can give you a step-by-step detail on how you can make this a little bit more automated. So that's number one. Make sure that you aren't just focused on the planning. Number two, I think AI is robust enough now to handle a lot of your administrative tasks. Whether that's just sending out general thank yous. Obviously, you still want to have them personalized and everything like that, but you can also have an AI tool that can help you with that. A lot of places now have a way that you can automate some of your tasks. And if there's something that you're like, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to automate it, ask ChatGPT. It'll always tell you yes, which is a problem, and I'll get into that in a sec. But also, if it's something that you feel like maybe there is a pathway and it's something that maybe that you can do, check it out. The worst that can happen is that it just doesn't work. But I think especially with the right type of automated task, it can really help save you a lot of time. Ask yourself, what is the number one thing that I get stuck on at work? Is it emails? Is it bookkeeping? Is it timekeeping? Whatever that might be, figure out if there's a way around it. And also, once again, be specific. Tell AI the tools that you're using currently. That way, like, if you're paying for them, if it's something that you're already using, then it's not something else that you have to learn. It's just connecting the right things with the right software. And most of the time it's free. It all depends on what you want to do and how robust it is. Like, to me, one of the bigger intermediaries is Airtable. And Airtable, I believe you get like 1,000 records for free a month. So if you're getting 1,000 donations a month, unless you're getting that much, then you could use that as a way to process thank yous or whatever. But it has been really helpful in taking away some of my administrative tasks. Low effort, but also take up a lot of time. With emails, I've tried some stuff with emails. I know that you can connect emails directly with ChatGPT. That doesn't really work for me because I have multiple emails, but it might work for you, especially if there's a specific email that you want to use. And that's something that you can look at. I've also tried, there's a way to set it up with Airtable, where if you label emails coming from specific people, they get uploaded into Airtable. Airtable generates AI draft, and then you can just approve it and send it. There are different ways around it, but the thing I would focus on the most is focus on those administrative tasks. The stuff that once you set it up and the data is accurate, you can kind of keep moving with it. Let me go back to the ChatGPT telling you yes, because that's always been a big thing. It's like ChatGPT is always very affirming to you. They always tell you what you want to hear. And I think one of the big things to keep in mind is the bias, because it'll always tell you that you're right and awesome and amazing. That's why we had a young man unfortunately end his life because of ChatGPT. I've also seen the story of a guy that went through a full mental breakdown because ChatGPT told him that there were these algorithms that were helping save the world, and they weren't. And he found out, ironically, by asking another AI, I believe it was Copilot or something. Yes, I think that is something to keep in mind, but also make sure that you're removing yourself from it. It can be helpful for everything. It's not helpful for all things. The number one thing I believe in 2025, any kind of generative AI was used for, was advice. And I would just be careful with advice, because once again, it'll always tell you that you're right, even when you're not. And I think confiding in an AI like that makes it a little weird. Don't humanize AI. That can be challenging. The other thing, because I keep seeing it, and I'm pretty sure I said something along these lines before, people are always worried that it's stealing everyone's jobs. I don't think it's stealing jobs. I think it is just changing job descriptions. I think that AI can be very helpful in saving you time on the mundane tasks that you don't need to focus on, so that you can focus on the bigger picture things, such as reviewing timesheets and creating content and editing photos and videos and things like that. I think it can be very helpful in some of those areas. But also, like, if you have someone that you're like, man, I don't want my administrative assistant to leave, I don't think it's going to change their job description. I think it'll change their job or lose their job, but I think it's just editing their job description. So maybe your administrative assistant just uses AI in a lot of the tasks that they would do before. They're not losing their job, they're just changing how they do it. And I feel like that always happens within technology. Oh, it's going to just lose everyone's jobs. And jobs evolve over time. 200 years ago, there was a lot more farmers than there are now. And whether or not you want to see that as good or bad, that's up to you. But job descriptions do change over time, and I think that's just the natural evolution of life. I think it's just a matter of how we do work will just look different. The other thing, and I think that this is important as well, that kind of goes along with the job descriptions, AI still needs the human element. I don't send anything out without still reviewing it first. Whether we're talking an email that I created, a grant that I used AI to write at first, I think that it still needs that human touch to make sure that everything is good. Because AI will give everything based on what it has. And you want to review it for any type of errors. You want to review it for any type of discrepancies. You want to review it for accuracy. And I think if we eliminate the human element in AI, I think that's where we can get in a little bit of trouble. where we're just like, ChatGPT sent this and goodbye. I think we need to make sure that we actually still have that sense of the human element. Because I think that's the only way that using AI properly can happen. Because if, let's say, you're editing a video and the video starts going crazy, if you're not reviewing it, then there's an issue. Because that's always the argument, like with President Trump and some of the stuff that he's created via AI. People are like, oh, it's just AI. AI isn't like Aaron telling Moses about the golden calf, where it's like, oh, I just threw a bunch of gold in there and out pops a golden calf. No, there has to be like some intentionality with it. There has to be some type of review process. So if, let's say, you're a nonprofit or a church and you're looking to implement some AI systems, make sure you have a policy in place. Make sure you have an AI usage policy where you're saying, like, it has to be reviewed before it can be sent out. It has to be approved maybe by somebody. Or even as you're generating it, you have to say, this was made by AI, just to let you know. Whatever your process might be, having that policy in place, not only does it protect you from anyone putting anything together that's weird, but it also creates a system where it's being used properly. The only thing I'll also add on there is that a lot of people tend to be worried about AI stealing all their information. You can only steal what you give them, or what's on the internet. Let's be honest, because that AI scrapes the internet. So if you're posting about your stuff on the internet, then AI will have access to your stuff. It doesn't matter whether you use it or not, it'll have it. But then also the same people that do that are also the people that generate the caricatures on Facebook and such. So, all right, so last thing. And I think this is one of the things that people aren't necessarily talking about with AI, but I think it's really important. I heard it on a podcast recently and it stuck with me. With the growth of AI, live events are going to become a priority, especially in the next 5 to 10 years. Because live events are AI proof. You can't fake a live person in the flesh. And I don't know if we have to worry about robots. There was a guy using a robot thingy, was doing karate kicks, and then accidentally kicked himself with the robot in a very unpleasant area. So I don't know if we have to worry about robots yet. But having the live events, I think, will continue to be a priority. Because number one, we know from scripture that man and woman were created for community. Was the first thing that God said wasn't good? That man is alone. So being with people is important. And I think also, as we continue to question whether or not something is real or fake, it's a very tough thing to be like, oh, I don't know if this is real or fake. I don't know if this is the question of, is this AI? But you can't AI a live event. You can't fake real people. And people will continue to hunger for community if they continue to feel like they're more isolated. And I think people wanting that desire for connection is going to be very important. So from a nonprofit perspective, I think it's important when you look at fundraising events to make them centered around community and people talking and people actually interacting. If you're talking from a church perspective, yes, have your online church. I think that really helps, especially for the people that can't get there, the people that might be out of town. But also, the live experience of church can be very beneficial for your mental and emotional health. And also, if you can, if it's possible with your nonprofit, try to make it an in-person event. Now, obviously, you want to be cautious in how you do it. And not even talking COVID or anything, but if people are sick, obviously there's some things in there. But if you can make it in person, it's going to become more valuable because people will crave that type of community. So as we continue to pursue more AI stuff, I just wanted to encourage you with those few things. I think that they're important. I think that as we continue to grow in AI, this is going to be something that just continues to evolve. So just keep it in mind. So I want to talk a little bit more about the planning aspect. Something I read in a book recently. This is our Confessions of a Missionary Time. This is a book, Procrastination Proof by John Acuff. It's a great book. I would recommend you checking it out. And he talks about these different caricatures of people that procrastinate. And he said one of them was the planner. And he also has a quiz that you can do and all. One was the planner, and how you just focus on planning and figuring out the plan, and that's your way of procrastinating. And I think sometimes that's what I do. I worry so much about making it perfect that I don't even try. And so as I continue to do those things, as I continue to figure out things, I'm not like doing what I need to do and actually just doing it. So with that said, I want to encourage you to not be stuck planning. Do the things. Continue to just say, I'm going to do it. And the best way to learn is by doing it. The best way to figure it out is by actually putting it into practice and seeing if it works or not. It's not going to be perfect the first draft anyway. And that doesn't just go with life. That also goes with grant writing. Your best draft is never your first one. You will always find something that you can adjust, you can alter to make a better application. So as you're going about your day, as you're going about your week, make sure that you are taking time to plan properly. But then also just do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. And with that, I want to encourage you, if you're looking for some grant writing help, if you want to get that AI grant writing tool, call it Grant Writing OS. Reach out to me, nonprofitmissionary@gmail.com. I would love to take some time with you and kind of go over what that looks like. So until next time, stay focused, stay funded, and God bless.